You've just entered the law offices of Quibble, Squabble and Bicker. If you've come for actual legal advice, you need to turn right around, honey. You need to get out of here, 'cause you ain't gonna get none of that. They quibble, and they squabble, and they bicker. But if you want to hear meaningless opinions, this is the right place. They got plenty of that. Stuff that makes no sense at all. They go off on tangents. It's crazy talk. If that's your thing, keep listening. They'll keep talking.
Oh no no, oh no no, it's another episode of the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble and Bicker. You've entered the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble and Bicker. Yay!
Welcome to another episode of the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker. This June 9th, 2021, counting the days before our live anniversary show on YouTube, which will be June 23rd, everyone. That is June 23rd on YouTube. You can find us at Law Offices, Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker on YouTube. There's some URL which is associated with us and YouTube, so you can track it down. And we don't have a guest today, but we do have a client here at the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker, where today we become the Medical Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker as we discuss our client bodily functions and bodily dysfunctions. Now, why are we doing this? Well, for no really good reason other than we were just trying to find a new client, and this is the one that has decided to pay us. And so it'll be educational for some of you, and for the rest of you, you'll be bored off your asses, and, you know, that's kind of to be expected. So,
I've dealt with this client many times in my career.
yeah, what do you think are the different bodily functions that people have, Greg?
There's lots of them.
Well, I'm saying, what do you think
breathing?
they are? Lay them on the line.
Breathing, farting, shitting,
did you
sweating.
Say shitting?
Shitting.
Okay, not shitting.
That's it. I'm not that good at grammar. I don't know what.
Speaking of bodily functions, please hold on.
Oh, which part are we supposed to be holding on when he's speaking of his bodily functions? So breathing,
digestion.
Okay. So yeah, because the farting and shitting is part of the digestive system.
Yes.
The digestive.
Circulatory.
Yeah.
Blood circulation.
Just blood circulation. Does anything else get circulated?
Alcohol in your blood.
Money.
Money circulation is part of one's body. Yes. As all the children that have eaten pennies when they were young.
Wheezing.
It's part of the wheezing system.
It's not a system, but it's a function.
Well, yeah, the main organ is the wheezer, which is kind of
they only come in colors.
Yeah, just a little left of your bladder.
We have to take out his wheezer stat.
Yeah, his wheezer is. He's got an inflamed wheezer.
I like being a doctor better than being a lawyer, actually.
Should we
prestigious.
Change? Is it?
Yeah, I feel more prestigious.
To be a doctor?
Prestigious? What?
I feel so prestigious.
That would be the Magical Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker if we were prestigious.
Prestigious.
Which, you know, might be an interesting change of name as well if we went to the Magical Offices.
He's got his 20-sided die shirt. Well, all the kinds of die. He's got 6-sided die.
That's right. I got all the die.
Is that that's also one of the systems of the body?
Yes, the magical die system.
Rolling.
So I had to provide my wife with B1 and vitamin E for some reason
Just
then
now?
and right
you
then.
Like squeezed it out of your breast? How did
well,
you
no,
have
that
it
was that whole like hold on.
Oh.
Because she's right off camera right here. I've got headphones on and she's talking to me quietly and I'm like
I thought maybe you had like some kind of dispenser in your chest. You just kind of lift it up, pop open. Here you go, honey.
Here is vitamin C.
The Candy Man.
So here there are various, going from Wikipedia here, there are a number of different systems within the body. So as Greg said, we have the circulatory system or the cardiovascular system. There's then the digestive system and the excretory system, which are connected to each other. The endocrine system, the integumentary system, which I'm hoping I'm pronouncing correctly, also known as the exocrine system.
Explain. What is
that? That deals with skin, hair, nails, sweat, and other exocrine glands.
Your skin system.
skin, hair, nails, sweat. I guess the stuff that keeps recreating itself. You
Yes.
continue to get new skin cells, new hair, the nails keep growing, your sweat grows. I
I
guess.
met a I met
Sweat
a
grows.
My sweat is growing a lot.
I met a person on Hollywood Boulevard, and I was forced to ask him a question, which was, "What was the first thing you noticed about me?" And you know what he said was, "Your skin." So I don't know. That just made me think of that when you were talking about the skin system. He was very in tune with others' skin systems.
Sounds like a serial killer.
Somebody
Yeah,
who's just like while looking at your skin.
I would like to make a face mask of your face and
Would
wear
you
it.
like to get into my white van? It's just parked right around the corner.
Yeah.
What's your favorite system, Matt?
Well, I haven't
What's your
finished all
favorite?
the systems, so
Oh,
let me get through all
okay.
the systems, and we'll discuss my personal favorite, which is not the integumentary system. If I'm again, I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right. We have the immune system and lymphatic system, the muscular system, the nervous system, the renal and urinary systems, reproductive system, respiratory system, and the skeletal system. So these, according to Wikipedia, are the main systems of the human body. Now, in terms of which one would be my favorite, now what do you mean by favorite, Greg? What kind of favorite do you mean?
Your favorite, the one you're most happy to have.
The one I'm most happy to have of all of the various. I mean, the one I would suppose that keeps me completely alive. I don't know which one that would be because they're all interconnected. You know. But I suppose, if any, it's got to be the urinary system.
It gives you the most pleasure.
I don't know. Apparently, it gives me something to do in weird hours of the day. It keeps me occupied.
You know, I've always been a big fan of the immune system just because I think of all the body systems, it's the most fucking bizarre and alien. It's like almost you have this little minor subspecies of critters that live in your body and have their own sort of lifestyle and purposes.
Yeah.
Little critters, you mean like antibodies?
Yeah, your antibodies, your white blood cells, your killer T cells. I mean, it's like a whole like little
Weevils.
microcosm, little fuckers that are just running around. Like there's some that just run around and find cells in your body that they go, you know, you're fucked up, and then they kill them.
It is an odd thing. You know,
It is a very odd thing.
like you've got little miniature bounty hunters running around in your system.
Right, and they have different purposes, and then some of them will go to fight an infection or a disease or something, and they, if you haven't experienced it, they're like, fuck. And then some of them like start taking notes and then report back and then breed others that understand this thing now, and now you have an immunity. I mean, I did a whole thing with my daughter on, you know, all of the bodily systems. We got to the immune system, and I was just like, it was like, holy shit, really? That's bananas.
And then you have the overactive ones, which turn into pus, and they like come out of your body.
Right.
You know, which are that's how even stranger, because I guess that's part of the lymphatic system too. Is, you know, it's creating this goop that comes out of you that you didn't know was in you at all, which I guess, you know, comes into the heading of the of zits and pimples and things too, which pop up on your face. You know, that's a mixture of skin and dirt and also like cells of some kind. And
Do you guys know what a bozer is? I think it's a basor, or I can't remember how it's pronounced, but my friend was a
talking about one
doctor.
of the tumors that has teeth in them.
Yeah, other things too. Sometimes an eyeball. It's like your body goes crazy, and in your stomach or somewhere in your body, like if they're doing surgery, they'll find like a sac, and there'll be human hair in it. The body basically goes crazy and wants to recreate parts of your body in this thing. There'll be an eyeball. The eyeballs, nothing works though, so the eyeball isn't functioning. Teeth. It's
That's
crazy.
good.
I know, it's so
Wow,
nuts.
I've never heard of that. That's bizarre. No.
She got to see one. She actually was helping when she was an attending doing surgery, and she was like, "Oh, I saw one. It was amazing."
Who saw this?
My friend, who's a doctor.
Oh, so she was talking about the Bezors or Bezors.
Yeah.
Isn't that the guy who runs Amazon?
Yes.
Yeah.
It
He
all
is
makes sense now.
non-functioning.
He is
Sac.
kind of like a non-functioning sack of something that the body society
shit.
created to see what would happen. I'm not sure.
Somebody recently described the heads of all these major corporations as James Bond villains, like they're all morphing into James Bond villains, like
They're not.
Bezos and Elon Musk, and
Elon Musk sounds like a Bond villain right there. Elon Musk must be
Or
Elon is
Stallone.
definitely the most Bond villain of them all. Although Jeff's got a good, solid Lex Luthor vibe.
Yeah.
Who else did they? Mark Zuckerberg is like some sort of android from another planet. Maybe.
It's like, and if they were part of our internal systems, which parts would they be? You know,
I think Zuckerberg would be part of the excrement.
Yeah, most of them
Filtering
would be,
system.
I think.
The shit. You know, the way your body. Facebook is kind of, to me, just the way your body just gets rid of waste. It just takes all of the bullshit digestive constructs of humanity and pushes it into a firm mass and then shits it
So
through
everyone
this
can see.
website called Facebook.
I think,
And everybody likes it and shares it.
And your computer
they
is the
poke
toilet.
it too. They can like poke
And
at it to see if
they
it's
poke the shit. Yeah.
I don't think Bill Gates would be a good Bond villain, though. I can't picture Bill Gates as a Bond
No.
villain. Doesn't have
No,
the
he
gravitas.
could definitely be a Bond villain.
He doesn't
I
look
think-
it, though.
I
The
think
casting's not good.
I think he's going to end up being more of a true crimes villain once this whole, Jeffrey Epstein thing sort of rolls out of his divorce.
Oh, is Gates like associated with Epstein too now?
Everyone was.
In a major, like, he told his wife is now his ex-wife, was like, that guy's kind of creepy. And he's like, oh, you're right, he's creepy. I'm going away for the weekend. And she's like, where are you going? He's like, don't worry about it. And then later she found out that's where he was going.
Oh.
Going off with the creep.
Now, of course, all that's coming from her divorce attorney. So,
Well, still quite fascinating because it would suck if he had nothing
Literally.
to do with it. If he had nothing to do with it and she's just like randomly tossing Epstein connections into the divorce.
I can't imagine with how lawyered up those two are that she would totally throw out completely bullshit something. Whether he did anything or not.
Yeah, I mean, she's had it pretty much made being married to that guy. I mean, I don't know what her background is at all, but obviously, coming out of a divorce like that, you're going to wind up being a multi-billionaire yourself for having to put up with whatever he does as a weirdo. Because, I mean, if you look at Gates, he's kind of like a lizard person,
He's a nebbish.
He's a Bazor.
He's like a gecko of some kind.
A gecko?
That's what he looks like.
You can run up walls? That'd be pretty awesome. I want to be a gecko.
He just makes the sound of a gecko. Gecker, gecker. In case you've ever heard a gecko. But I was thinking Bezos is probably part of the integumentary system. He's like when skin cells and hair cells are just like sloughing off of a person, that's what he becomes. He's been created by excess skin and hair cells that have fallen off of people. And then he started a business that now, tortures lots of people in warehouses across the country and across.
Did you guys
the
ever
world.
hear the fact that I think it's a scientific medical fact that if you sneeze, fart, and cough at the same time, your head will explode. You'll die.
Now you said, did you ever hear the fact? Now let's just back that up a second. So I don't know that that's a fact, Greg.
I can
Jack?
tell you that I have shit, puked, and shit pretty much all at the same time.
I've done that.
Wait, you've
Coming
shit,
up.
puked, and shit at the same time?
Well, vomited, shit, and sneezed.
Did you shit?
I think I
vomit,
sneezed.
then puke, and then
I
shit?
sneezed as I was vomiting, and then the shit came out. It wasn't all exactly at the same time. There was a little bit of a, maybe a millisecond between the three.
Yeah, my doctor friend saw it happen in the emergency room once.
So what happened, Greg?
The head
The guy
exploded.
sneezed, coughed, and farted.
And then
At
his
the
head
same time.
exploded?
Yeah, it was messy. It was.
Do you think she was fucking with you?
I'm gonna call bullshit.
I'm bullshitting. She never said that, but I always
I'm sure.
I'm fascinated by the
What-
extra.
we're
Someone
not
will
in middle
believe
school,
you, Greg. You
Greg.
say
I
things
mean-
like that, and people will believe you because there's
No, that
idiots out there. You know, I
Yeah.
heard on this podcast they were official because there was a law office, even though that day they were a medical office. And the one guy said, who I trust because he's got like an Incredible Hulk on his wall, he said that if you puke and you shit and you sneeze at the same time, your head will explode. It's got to be true. He said it was a fact.
I'm posting it on
these guys are
Facebook.
Renaissance men, and they know magic too. So I was always fascinated, like with the idea that if you could like I had this fantasy. It was a weird fantasy to have when
Oh,
I was a
God.
teenager.
Another one of Greg's
When I
fantasies.
should be having.
We're going from sneezing and shitting and puking and farting and coughing and heads exploding to your fantasy.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's all
Okay.
connected.
but it's
I'm
weird that
in.
I would have this daydream when I could have been thinking about girls like a normal teenager. But I love the idea of being able to go like hunker down and all the waste would come out of you. Like your earwax would blow out of your ears and your zits would just pop out and your snot would come out. I love that idea. You'd shit, you'd pee, everything would come out. I don't know why, but it's...
What about your teeth? Would your teeth come out too?
No, that's not... You don't excrete teeth. It's all the waste in your body would come out in one
You excrete
Just
them
one-
in a bezoar.
exertion. Yeah, even if I had a bezoar, we'd pop that out too.
Yeah, but that would have teeth in it, so that's how teeth come out at the same time.
They don't always have teeth. They just do random
I'm
parts of
saying
the
it
body.
could if in your
Oh.
weird hypothetical situation.
It's not even hypothetical, Matt. It's
include that.
impossible. It's completely impossible, not hypothetical.
So would that include just waste excrement or all excrement?
Everything's
So
earwax.
You'd jizz at the same time as well?
Yeah, that would help.
I don't know
would make
that
it
that
nicer.
is excrement, Brendan.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said that's not a waste product. That's a creation.
That's joy juice.
that's
it's just-
that's the reproductive system.
making life. It's not
It
like
is.
snot
It's
or
spackling walls is what it is.
well. If you aim well, maybe.
Well, and you have the right tool.
When I think of how much life I flushed down the toilet over the decades, it's
Down
insane.
the toilet. So what you're saying is that's your recreational choice? Is you have
It
sex
used to be
you
when
have
I was
sex with
younger.
toilets? It's great.
I was very clean.
Is like that the only size that can fit you?
Really, I
You're
mean,
like that big?
in the toilet requires a certain amount of
Effort.
extra effort. Yeah.
I know.
You
didn't
It's
didn't
like,
stand up.
do you
you
like
just
put
didn't-
like do you paint a face with a Sharpie on the toilet top so that it
No, I would
like,
just
you're
hold the
attracted to it?
porn mag in front of my face or something.
You
When I was a
didn't
kid,
use
before there was YouTube.
Yeah.
or
You didn't use the
RedTube.
sock. I mean, I thought
No,
everybody used a sock.
I eventually just started doing that, but I was like so Catholic guilty about like, oh, my mom might find it. The sheets might be sticky. So,
Well, that's
I
why
go
I
in the-
used the sock.
and my brother, I shared a room with my brother.
There was a
You have
Catholic.
stiff socks.
There's a
I wanted
Catholic
privacy.
sock.
Oh, I see. You shared a room with your brother. Well, I guess
Did you
I-
share the sock with your brother?
No,
I would if I had to. I suppose I didn't have a brother of the similar age, so
Would you get sloppy seconds though? See, I wouldn't want that.
What?
no.
Sloppy seconds. If you had to use the sock after. your
Only if
brother.
Oh,
it was
God.
only if it was right after. It couldn't be like an hour goes by or
cold,
something.
cold and
Then it's-
clammy.
Oh god.
Then it's like gross, you know.
Yeah, sounds like it. We should have had a disclaimer at the beginning of this episode.
I want to mention, Matt. I think this was your idea.
You talk about jizz. Remember, you said, guys,
That's what I
Bottom
want to
of
talk
jizz.
about. I
Oh,
just
we
like
could
the
go back-
sound of it because it sounds like when you're starting a mini bike.
We could talk about poop again.
Zzz,
How
zzz.
often as middle-aged men, how often do you poop? Once a day, twice a day?
Well,
once
because
every couple
I'm
of
still
days?
fasting and I've been fasting since August. It's like sometimes once a week.
Wow.
wow.
Yeah, those are the more painful ones.
But you eat a huge meal every day, though, or a meal. That doesn't want to
Yeah, I
come
know,
out.
but it's an odd thing. I mean, it's generally like 2 or 3 days. Every 2 to 3 days is. It
Wow,
used to be
okay.
every day, but I think I just need to get more roughage in my diet. Is what I think. I'm just eating
Yeah.
like horrible
What are you
things.
eating, like cheese? I mean,
I always eat cheese.
oh,
That's a regular thing for me.
I have this annoying thing in my old age. I have the binary shit in the morning where I shit when I want to. When I get up, I usually kind of pretty soon have to shit, and then half an hour later, I've got another one. Something was left in.
How is
So
that
I have to,
binary?
I have to go to work. I have to get up and go to work, and then I'm
wait.
oh shit,
When
I'm
you're
gonna get the
saying
other one.
it's binary, what are you talking about? It's binary.
It's almost like it doesn't want to come out all in one load.
It's
So
two
like
shits.
20 minutes later, I'll have to go again, like a less secondary, lesser shit. It's
Right,
like
secondary
it's
makes
fun.
more sense than binary.
Yeah, just so you
Yeah.
don't feel awful. I not every day, but maybe every other day, I have a similar thing where I get up, coffee will do it. You get up, you have your cup of coffee. You can put the coffee back. Coffee is definitely a diuretic. It's going to make you shit.
Mhm.
You just go do your thing. And then I find that sometimes after I'm like, okay, I'm done. And then I'll like sit down and start to do work, and I'll eat a little bit of breakfast. And as soon as that food hits my face, within 10 minutes, I'm like, oh, I got to go again.
Making you shit wouldn't be something that's the effect of a diuretic. A diuretic is just about urine and removing water from your system.
Well, what is
Really?
it called? Okay, well, what is something that makes you shit called?
A laxative.
Okay. So coffee is a laxative. It's also a diuretic.
It has a laxative effect. Well, I mean, I think most liquids that we consume have some diureticness to them.
Well,
But I don't think they're designed to cause you to pee like other things are.
Okay.
But yeah, a laxative would be the thing for shitting, or there's probably some other term for it too. But I don't know. Have you two both had colonoscopies?
No.
No. You guys should get one, just so you know. At your age, you're running a risk if you haven't. I mean,
I've
like
heard.
risk of
cancer.
But I don't want to. I'm scared.
I got bigger problems
Than
Bigger problems
cancer.
than cancer.
than shit than my colon having cancer.
Well, a few years back was the first time I got mine because I was having concern about something that was happening, and they did find some precancerous polyps that were there. They removed a lot of them, so now I get it like every 4 or 5 years, and each year there's a polyp, not necessarily precancerous. So because I think they got rid of those earlier, but there is that real potential. So I recommend it for everybody's listening.
Is that an H.P. Lovecraft kind of thing, like your anal polyps?
That's right. Cthulhu lives in my ass.
This
That's
is a public
nice.
service announcement from the medical offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker.
Please go get a finger stuck up your ass. I did have a conversation with some other.
Well, they don't do that with colonoscopies.
Oh, I got that. The prostate exam. When you turn 50, you're supposed to get your prostate, and
Yeah.
surprisingly, didn't hurt as much as I thought.
You probably enjoyed it.
You can do that
I didn't.
yourself. Realize it's
I
like
can't.
a breast exam.
I couldn't do it.
I had that done when I was much, much younger. It's one of the most uncomfortable things I've experienced. And yeah, not painful, just uncomfortable because it felt like I had to use the toilet when they were doing this. I'm not a fan of this experience. So
Yeah.
I'm more willing to have a colonoscopy than have a prostate check.
I tried to find my prostate in my 20s for fun, for entertainment purposes, and I couldn't find it.
You're like
I
looking
couldn't
for all of
find it.
your glands too.
At 20, you're not going to find it.
Oh, well, I thought, like I hear that's what makes anal sex so pleasurable for men, is the prostate is like the G spot in your butt. So this guy I knew said, oh, you never had a girl stick her finger up your butt during sex? And I was like, no. And he's like, oh, you haven't had sex until you have. It's amazing.
I would disagree with that sentence.
I tried to find it myself and I couldn't. I was just like, where is it? I'm not.
Well, that's
feeling
where you
anything
got
good.
it all wrong. Finding it yourself is not the same thing as having, her find it for you.
Where the hell are we going today?
I have no idea.
Apparently, we're going up each other's ass.
This is a bodily function.
kinda
Prostate fondling.
is.
Somebody else's finger?
Yeah.
It's a bodily function. It's when two bodies function together. That would be a bodily dysfunction, was when external objects are finding their way inside of you.
Oh yeah.
Fingers, bullets,
Another body's function.
laser pointers.
I mean, things finding their way inside of your body is kind of part of how life works.
Yes.
Huh? What are we talking about here, Brendan? I'm
You
curious.
said that things finding their way inside of you is a problem, and I'm saying not really. I
Well,
mean,
it
do you have
depends upon the object that's
do
finding
you
its
have
way inside of
kids?
you.
Because something found its way inside of something in order for you to have kids. That's all I'm saying.
Inside of your body? What found its way inside of your body for you to have kids?
Oh, you're speaking specifically about male bodies.
Well, I was
That things
speaking
finding
about
their way inside
myself
of
before.
things
So.
finding their way inside of male bodies is the problem. Oh, I missed that. I'm
Well,
sorry.
no, it can be any body. I mean, but you didn't specify, so I was wondering how that
Well,
applied to you.
you didn't specify, which is why I brought it up. Now you're
Well,
specifying that you meant it was male bodies.
Well,
There was
it
that
came
movie.
from it came from your face, so I was trying to figure out what you were talking about.
I think I saw this
The
documentary
thing
once
that went
about
inside your body came from my face. What? Nothing from my face went inside of your body ever.
when you guys were roommates. That never happened. That's
No,
weird.
not even close.
No, actually,
Nope.
stuff from Greg's body has found its way in mine because he spits when he talks, and occasionally he'll get you right here.
Yeah, sorry.
And you're not
I do
necessarily a
that.
fan of it.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I once saw a documentary about a man who became pregnant. It was just like he had a friend, a short guy. I think it was directed by Danny DeVito.
Oh, was it? He had
Yeah.
a friend. What was it called? Twins
I think it was called Junior.
or Junior? That's the one. That was the one where Schwarzenegger got pregnant.
Yeah, it was a documentary about him getting pregnant
It's a
back in the
documentary.
80s.
Right.
But he had it
When-
aborted. That's
whole
why he
thing
never
about
Going back to
Schwarzenegger getting
bodily,
pregnant.
going back to bodily functions, you mentioned Greg spitting. So does he gleek? Is he a gleeker?
Define gleeking.
That is when the salivary glands in your mouth hole overact and actually squirt spit out of your pie hole.
I've seen that.
Yeah, I don't know if
I've-
he does
I've been
that in
gleeked.
particular, but at the very least, he
It's-
has saliva in his mouth that ejects itself on occasion.
Well,
Yeah.
If you happen to be talking to him at the same time, then it goes right in.
he
there.
may be gleeking.
You're a gleeker, Greg.
I thought I stopped doing it because you don't even mention it anymore. Now I just realized, no, you just it's not worth mentioning now. It's so
Well, it's
frequent.
not that. It's just we're not really in that proximity anymore, especially over the last year when people have been wearing masks and stuff. Makes it
So
less.
last night,
Makes it. Well, your face didn't get that close to mine.
I didn't
You were in a
gleek you.
different part of the room.
what about when we were singing "Endless Love" together, tenderly, looking right at each other?
I don't remember that. I don't think
Well,
that happened.
isn't that the classic thing to say?
I know I'm in
You were-
denial.
You were drunk.
Right.
I was wasted. I don't remember. I must have been so wasted.
I know. I must have fallen 3 times and left my footprints in a bathtub. It was all about me.
Gleeking is the act of shooting saliva out from under your tongue. Many people have gleeked on accident when yawning or flicking their tongue. You can teach yourself how to gleek on purpose by gathering enough saliva to licking your tongue along the roof of your mouth and jutting your jaw out.
Okay. So, Greg,
I'm thinking
what was
it's
so... Oh, no,
an
go ahead,
Olympic
Brandon.
event. I think it's an Olympic event. I think we need to have the gleek-offs.
Greg will be known as Greg the Gleek. Greg, what was so important that you had to go grab your backpack just now?
I gotta go. I'm going on a hiking trip. I'm kidding. No, I just want to get some cigarettes. And they were in there.
The backpack.
You can't do a podcast without cigarettes, man.
You
know
were
this.
so beholden to your habits, like they
I know,
they
it's
drive
disgusting.
you. It's like no discipline there whatsoever, no control.
None at all. I gotta keep up the Edward R. Murrow on their image too.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah?
you know,
Expect that from me.
it's been almost it's been 6 months for me.
Since you quit?
Yeah.
Hey, good for you, man. How's
Mhm.
it
Good
been?
job.
Has it been difficult?
No, after the first 2 or 3, it's fine. There'll be there's you know, time to time there'll be a moment where I'm like, then it passes. It's not a big deal.
Have you noticed any particular side effects to no longer smoking? Like, can you smell things better or taste things better?
Can't say that I cough less. I mean, I know that sounds dumb,
No, I
but I used to have a pretty heavy cough in the morning. Like not every morning, but some mornings I'd be like, "Ugh," you know, that kind of cough.
Yes.
I don't really have that so much anymore.
Yeah,
I
was
heard that
happy
your
when
sense
that
of
went away.
smell. I heard that
I
your
haven't-
sense of smell comes back, and I'm afraid to quit smoking because I don't want to smell myself and how foul everything smells in
I
my dirty
didn't.
apartment.
Yeah, I didn't really notice any change in my sense of smell. I always had a pretty good sense of smell, even when I was a smoker. And I can't say that now it's like, oh, I don't know. I don't
I
think
found
Is it
it's
a change?
much easier to detect the smell of smoke now that I've been a non-smoker for like 10 years.
No, I definitely, that's true. Like if somebody walks in and like they're a smoker and they've been smoking, I'm like, you just had a cigarette.
Yeah. You like smell it
But what
on
about
them.
your appetite? Do you find that you want to
wants
eat
to
more?
eat smoke?
No, I didn't really notice that. I know that's another thing people say about stopping smoking, you eat more. I didn't notice that my diet changed. Mostly I was irritable for a few weeks, but you know, that's not really, I mean, that's kind of normal.
I was gonna say, did something change there?
No, it just got a little more easy. Like, you know, hey, I'm gonna open the window. What the fuck are you talking? You know,
Get the goddamn I don't pay this electric bill for a reason. So that didn't make any sense. All right, well, I got distracted before because of the diuretic comment, but getting back to the endocrine system, because we didn't really delve into that. Greg, I think this might be your favorite system, really, is the endocrine system.
Do tell.
Because it all has to do with hormones and the function of the body based upon hormones. So, you know, what are all the different hormones that you can have?
I don't have any left in me. My hormones stopped.
Your hormones stopped? You have nothing? There's no testosterone left in you?
Nothing.
No estrogen?
Nothing. I got
Actually,
nothing.
it does make it kind of an interesting question. It's like, what if you no longer had hormones in your body? What would that do?
You'd be like Bill Gates.
You'd pretty much die, I think.
Turn into Bill Gates?
I mean, not only do hormones, I mean, you got hormones that, you know, like your testosterone, your estrogen, and that sort of thing, which whether you have greater or lesser degrees of at any point as you get older is one thing, but adrenaline, a lot of those things help to balance your bodily system. I know that I, for one, have way too much adrenaline in my system. So my body's always kind of like, you know, and which is part of my blood pressure problem. So hormones are a part of your life and you have to learn how to manage them somehow or other.
So you don't do like parachuting or anything like that because you have too much adrenaline going through your system already?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. I try to avoid those kind of situations.
Like climbing live volcanoes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I used to when I was a kid, but I think I broke the switch. Like the little knob fell off, and it got stuck on tin. And even though there's nothing going on, I'm not climbing a live volcano. My body thinks it is, even though it's just driving to 7-Eleven. And so my heart rate's 110, and my blood pressure's 190 over 105, and all
it seems
I'm doing
like
is
that would make like everyday activities a lot more fun though. If you had the rush of going to the local convenience store, it'd be the same as jumping out of a plane. Like every moment is like, this is the most intense thing I've done. I just walked to the bathroom.
It would be extreme.
I can't get any better than this.
It would be like the X Games every day.
Every moment.
Yeah, no, it's not good.
That's why he keeps coming back to the podcast, Greg. It's because this gives him such a rush.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So anyway, hormones are important, even though you're old. They're still important.
Hormones, things are important. Hormones are important.
Endocrine is not my favorite.
It's not, but that's where insulin is also located, Greg.
I don't care. I'm not diabetic, so I don't care.
So is it respiratory as a smoker still, or is it circulatory? Is your blood?
No, my respiratory.
I think his favorite is probably the muscular system because look at how built he is.
Yeah, I'm pretty cut. And by the way, I know I just made this gesture. What was the first movie where a tough guy to show like, oh, he's a badass? Did the that is so fucking cliche now. Every time a badass pops up to show that he's a badass, he does that little, and it's like, oh, this guy's gonna kick some ass. And I know it was one movie where I first saw it.
Can you
90s.
describe that for the audio listeners? Like what you just did with your head besides making a sound?
It's a tough guy and he kind of like, he's a badass. Well, he looks like a badass, but he'll like do that little tilt his head to the right, like he's cracking his neck, and then the left's like, okay, now I'm ready to kick some ass. Yeah. And okay, I digress. Yes.
No, but, I don't think you digress. I don't know what
totally digresses.
But do you know what I'm talking about? Have you
Is
I
that
don't know
the
where
part
that-
of the muscular system? I guess is why. He
I
brings
don't know
that
where that started in a movie particularly, but I can tell you that if you're about to engage in some sort of intense physical activity, you know, stretching out your various shoulders and head is
Your knees
kind
and
of
toes.
it's a natural reaction.
Well, they don't do stretches like, you know, like squats or anything. It's just the
Well,
neck thing.
That's because you're going to get punched in the face. How many fights have you been in your life, Greg?
None.
Okay,
No real ones.
not a
like
real
some-
one.
Some bully like threw me on the ground. And
Most of what
stabbed
happens
me.
in a fight, other than just a lot of grappling and just dumb shit, is getting punched in the face or in the head.
So you want your neck to be supple and limber.
Yeah, I don't know.
Big-
It's just a kind of a like okay,
Yeah.
loosen up sort of thing.
I never
Boxers do
saw
it.
it.
Boxers do it. I mean, they're not doing it because they're being
That's true.
stupid.
Whenever boxers are in the ring, you see them do that a lot.
You see them do that. So
Yeah.
I'm sure that whoever made a tough guy do that saw boxers and went, oh, they do it. So that
And when we
must
say
be intense.
boxers,
Ah.
everybody, we don't mean the dog. We mean people in a box.
No, that's what do you mean? I was talking about the dog.
Yeah.
I guess I
Dog
was wrong
fights.
again.
Brendan goes to dog fights in Florida. They're very popular.
No, you got to drive up to Georgia to do the dog fights.
Yeah. And the cockfights are there and the alligator fights.
Cockfights are in Miami.
What do they have? Like the cocks fighting the alligators?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, you take your cock and you slap an alligator, and if you survive, you win. It's called the Scarface Challenge.
Greg
if
has
the
lost a lot
alligator
of money
likes
on those
it-
fights.
If the alligator likes it, you definitely win. You win big time.
I think the alligator wins at that stage.
If the alligator reciprocates.
How does that affect the alligator's endocrine system?
It increases their testosterone, I think.
Yeah.
Those very manly alligators.
You know, it's funny. I was listening to our good friends at the Happy Hour News team, and they had a lot. It was like an episode or two ago where they talked a lot about alligators. As a native Floridian, they were pretty impressed that alligators were like a thing. And it was weird to me. It's kind of like bears are a thing up where you guys are, but somehow alligators, I think, because they're giant dinosaur-looking lizards, tap into something that people are just like they can't comprehend that these things. Because the truth is, you could be literally at the 7-Eleven, not 5 miles from my house, and there's a drainage pond like where runoff goes because it's Florida, and there'll be alligators in there.
I think
There'll
the
be little
fascination
signs.
is that there you can see alligators much more readily than you can see bears or other
Yeah.
wild mammals because
Yeah.
they
I
tend
don't
to
think
shy away
about
from
bears.
populated areas, and I don't think alligators care if there's a populated area. I think they just look at food for a populated
Yeah,
area.
I guess. I mean, I lived in Anchorage for a while, and moose and squirrel did not give shits about
Moose, squirrel,
people.
don't give shits. I
Yeah,
think
they
that was
did.
part of the show.
That was.
Hey, speaking of Happy Hour News team, I thought you guys were going to announce something.
Oh, well,
A little
Brendan got
news item.
stickers. We should say
Oh,
thank you to. I got
Yeah.
stickers too, but they're in a different part of the house, so
I know.
I'm gonna go grab them.
I got stickers.
Shout out to the
Um,
Happy Hour News team, straight out of North Dakota. Sanchez Eldorado and Shanty Pants sent us these stickers, which it looks like it's the right way for us, but if somebody else sees this video, the letters will be backwards. So it'll say some kind of hieroglyphics for the Happy Hour
The
News.
But
Mies
you-
und Black und
You get the idea, and I've got like a good hand of them. So I'm gonna go. When I get back from New York, I'm gonna go sort of distribute these around Pinellas County.
Oh, you should distribute them around New York City too.
I can
Yeah,
put some. I
more
can put some up in
eyeballs.
New York.
Yeah.
I'll put some up in Manhattan. I'll take half of them with me to Manhattan.
I hope that the Happy Hour News team is doing as much promotion of our show as you will be doing of theirs. In terms, well, I guess we haven't sent them any stickers, so I guess it doesn't really count.
Yeah.
And you know, Happy Hour News team guys, if you're listening, Brendan does promotion for a living. And so this is what he does. He just puts stickers up for his clients, gets the word out.
He just like,
That's
like
basically his
slaps
job.
them on people's foreheads as he's walking
Yeah.
by 'em.
Oh, come on now, Greg. You remember when we were kids and you'd go to. It's still that way, I think, in the Northwest, where you have the telephone booths, and there's
Oh, yeah.
so many concert flyers that it's like
Telephone booths or telephone poles?
telephone poles.
Okay.
There's like 4 layers deep of stuff. They don't do
It's like
that
a
up here.
cushion. It's like a cushion. It's so there's so many flyers you could rest your head on it like a pillow.
So you
Yeah.
wonder how many
There's
dogs have been lost on those telephone poles.
Probably a
Too
lot.
many.
Yeah.
Too many to care. But
They're just-
anyway, so
Cats.
they also
Happy
sent
hour
me a
news stick
letter.
stickers.
They also sent me a letter. Did you get a letter?
I don't know. I think I might have. I don't recall.
I got a
What
letter.
does yours say? It says, "I love
Good
you.
luck.
Will you come and move in with me?" What does that say?
Yeah, no, it says, I think, here's some stickers. VA Nessa Lee Jones, Pasco County, not Pinellas.
Oh,
think this
Vanessa
is-
Lee Jones. That's the woman who flicked her bean in your county.
This is who I need to find, but she's in Pasco, not Pinellas.
Oh,
So that's very different.
well,
and,
isn't Pasco the county just north?
It is just north, but the
Pinellas
difference between Pinellas County and Pasco County is like
More rednecks.
Western Oregon and Eastern Oregon, practically.
Oh, that's a big difference.
Yeah, you drive. I mean, as much as Pinellas County is kind of goofy and redneck, we're cosmopolitan. You drive an hour north, and it's just strip malls and strip clubs and meth heads and bikers.
People slapping their dicks on alligators and shit.
Yeah, no, that's
Crazy
where all
shit.
that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, if something happens in Pinellas, probably the chances are somebody from Pasco can drive it down here because there's more nightclubs.
They brought the trouble down.
Mhm.
I
across
get the
county
feeling
lines.
that the guys from Happy Hour News Team are probably planning a move from North Dakota to Florida at some point because of their being so enamored with that culture. You know,
And then
they're
they'll
going,
become
we need
Florida
to
men.
be part of it. We need to be in that. And I think they're kind of 3 feet into that well already.
They're experts on Florida already.
I know. I think
No, I've
they're
been
already
I've been
there.
catching up on their shows, and you know, they do give a lot of props to you know, us down here in Florida. We're working hard to, you know, keep ourselves front and center in the news cycle.
I'm curious
always.
if that affected your hat choice for today. Because normally you wear a Newsies cap like that. You usually have a ball cap on, Brendan.
Yeah, you know what this is I went to this conference, and I thought I'm gonna wear a hat, and
I want to look like a chauffeur today.
I just didn't want to wear a ball cap and
Uh-huh.
explain why I had you know, a squid on the ball cap, and then have to explain, well, no, it's not a squid, it's a kraken. And then have the lawyer go, a kraken, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, you know, like a kraken, like in mythology. No, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, anyway, it doesn't matter because it's a dice company for like Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing dice. I didn't want to have that conversation. And honestly, that's probably the best ball cap I had. So I bought these, and with the exception of Matt's, you know, fashion jabs, I've gotten a lot of compliments.
I think it looks good.
It's not a
That's it.
fashion jab. It's just a style of cap.
X3.
I've had 2 of those hats in my past. I haven't had one in a
Mhm.
long time.
Yeah, Matt is a haberdasher's dream. He's got so many hats, all different kinds, all different styles.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
the last hat I think I saw you wearing was this sort of wide-brimmed flower kind of hat.
Wide brim.
With a bird on
Flower?
it.
No, it was like a sun hat. It was like something you'd go out and do yard work in if you
Oh,
were an old
Maybe
lady.
it was. I have 2 hats nearby. It wasn't this one.
No.
Yes, yeah, but it
That
was
doesn't
probably.
even fit your head, Matt.
That's because I'm wearing headphones, dummy. And then there's this
Oh.
one, which
No,
is, you know.
No, it wasn't. No, it was like the second one, but it had a wider brim.
Here, I think it's this one. This is the one.
Yep, that's it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not supposed to be this floppy. It's supposed to have a more, firmness to it. But I think this might.
That's
be
what she
better.
said.
The old
This might be a-
prospector looks
exactly.
coming back.
What are you doing? There's gold in them dar hills.
It's not supposed to be that floppy. It's supposed to be more firm.
Where's my Viagra? I need to get some of that because my renal system needs work.
I have
Is the
Alright.
renal system?
Let me, since we're talking bodily functions, like, you know, as you guys probably do as well, given your sexual biological sex and how old you are.
Yes, Father. Can we have the talk now?
Well, no, what I'm saying is you probably get as many ads as I do about, you know, Viagra or male enhanced. And they're talking about, you know, men are lasting 90 minutes. I'm like, who, if you're no, what are you talking about? I mean, the ads don't make any sense to me. Number one, that somebody would have that problem.
Yeah.
Number two, that the solution to that would be to be erect for an hour. Have either one of you ever
Well,
decided,
after you have sex, you
have
kind of
either-
want to pound a few nails afterwards.
Yeah, have either one of you ever said, you know what? 30 minutes was just not a 20. It was just, I need an hour to 90, especially now that I'm 50.
I think the best part of that is how you can rub the skin off of your penis, like by staying hard that long at a certain point. I would think, things would get a little raw after a certain point, wouldn't
My
they?
girlfriend, it took her like a long time to orgasm. So it'd be like 45 minutes when we had sex, usually, like minimum. And it was all good. I didn't get bored.
Now, how did you keep from getting bored, Greg? Is you just going?
There's lots of other things. I don't know. Just it's still fun being with a naked woman. It was still novel to me.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is it wasn't that aspect of it. There's other things going on, and I get that. You could do all kinds of exciting and fun and interesting things for an hour, but
especially if you have like butter involved.
Right, but that one part of it where that particular body part needs to be in that particular position, an hour? I don't think anyone wants that. I don't think she does. I don't think you do. Certainly, I don't know. So anyway, I listen to those commercials and I'm like, who are these ads for?
I don't really see those so much. I know that I get ads on my phone, like on Facebook. There's some pill that's being touted as a safer alternative to Viagra. It's called Lemonade or something, and it catches my eye because it's this yellow pill thing, which is compared to I don't know what the color Viagra is, but
I mostly hear them on the radio when I'm driving. I listen to a classic rock radio station, and I also listen to kind of a talk radio station, both targeting, men our age.
Oh.
And there's a clinic, the Prestige Men's Clinic. Going back to Prestige. Prestige
you should
Men's
call them
Clinic.
about sponsoring the show.
Yeah, I should. Hey, but all of our audience is women, so maybe
they can refer it to the men that they are trying to avoid.
Oh, I could have a whole ad campaign where it's ladies.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to. He doesn't want
a guy who can pound curtain rods in for you.
Is your man floppy, like a hat, like an old hat? Floppy no longer.
If you need to get ramrodded for 90 minutes,
because things are a little dry at your age.
Yeah, because you got nothing better going on.
Because your endocrine system isn't quite working.
Call us.
Tie it back to our client. That brings us into the second part of our client, which is body dysfunction. So it's like when things aren't working.
Oh well,
that's us.
Or they're overworking. So it's like what could be examples of if your immune system is working too strong?
A Bazor, where your body's creating shit it doesn't even need.
You were like stuck on that. I'm even wondering if that's like a real word or not. Like we're like
going
along with what you're saying. That's always a bad mistake.
I feel like I have had this feeling that I actually poop too much. I poop a lot.
Wasn't that a song from Faith No More?
Yeah, I poop a lot.
How many times a day, Brendan? Let's get it off your chest or out of your ass.
Let's see, on average.
Or poop on your chest.
That's a hot curl.
I'd say 4.
You
Wow.
You poop 4 times a day, like normally?
Yeah.
What do you eat?
Are
you eating like actual logs?
No, regular stuff. A hamburger here, a salad, it's normal stuff. Not anything weird.
Are you pooping like a rabbit does then, like little pellets or something?
I do make smaller poops. They're not giant. There's a big poop in the morning, and then it's a series of smaller poops throughout the day.
I used to poop like 4 to 5, even sometimes 6 times a day, just because of my 20s and 30s and even early 40s. I ate so much. Like in a day, I could have 4 huge meals and then snack in between. So I used to hate it, the fact that I pooped so much. It was just a annoying waste of time. But then I realized it's like, no, that's good. It's all coming out of me. Like my sister was constipated her whole, not Maria. The other one doesn't listen.
So doesn't listen, so we can say whatever we want about her.
Yeah, she used to be constipated a lot, and sometimes she'd go a week without pooping, and I'd be like, "That's so gross. That poison's in your body, just festering that shit." Because shit is like poison. I mean, it's like, I realize it's a good thing that I poop a lot. I don't poop that much anymore because I don't eat that much, but it's a good thing to get it out quick.
I don't actually, if I ate a lot, I would understand it, but I don't. But so it's just, but anyway, having said that, I thought it was a problem for a while. And then I did a bunch of,
Poop research.
Google research, and they're like, "No, man, you're good. That's
Poople.
all good."
Poople.
Yeah.
Poople, the
Poop.
search engine for excretory enthusiasts.
Poople, yes.
I was Poople before there was a Poople, Matt.
You put
It's
the
true.
P in Poople.
I was everyday Poople.
So anyway, that goes back to something I thought.
Isn't
might
that
have
a
been
song from Sly and the Family Stone?
Yes, remember that song?
Everyday Poople.
Yeah.
An
But I like
everyday Poople.
ever since I was young, I was like talking about poops, and you're not supposed to in polite society, but I was like, no, you gotta know about this shit. I want to know, like, hey, do you have this
Literally.
too? Do you have corns in your poop after eating corn?
Well,
it's good to know
there's a
these
reason
things.
why it's called polite society and why you don't live in it.
I know, but I think I think Dr. Oz tried to change that. That guy was always on Oprah, where he used to be, because he was like, no, it's really part of
Well,
your
I thought it was
health.
Dr. Phil who was always on Oprah.
Yeah,
I think
he
it's
was
Dr.
too.
Oz, the poop guy. Phil was
Oh.
the therapist type guy.
Oh.
They were both
Full of
on
poop.
They're both
Oprah,
in a poop.
and they're both full of poop. But that's why I don't eat corn. I just don't, because
You don't wanna see it?
obviously it doesn't do anything. It just goes right through you. So
Yeah.
what's the point?
Tastes good.
No, it doesn't. It's pig food. Don't eat it. If anyone's out there listening, if you
Pig
eat
food.
corn, stop. It's not meant for human consumption.
You have joined the Anti-Corn Network.
I hate corn. Fuck corn.
I thought that the corn, like the little bit in the middle, you're digesting, but that's the husk that you see in your poop.
I
the
think that
outside
we've
of it.
just alienated all of our Nebraska listeners and viewers. So
I love
The
Nebraska. I
Hoosiers?
love beef. I love wheat. I love everything else your state produces. Just stop the corn.
stop the
Okay.
corn.
Or just feed it to the livestock. That's fine. People don't need to eat it because you have excess. Just grow less.
You're one of those anti-corn crusaders.
How do you
I
feel about
am.
popcorn, Brendan?
I like popcorn. That's about
Okay.
the only good use for it.
Okay, so you're okay with popcorn. That's still
I'm
corn.
okay with popcorn. But
How come
other
popcorn isn't in your poop the next
That's
day? You don't see
because you're eating the pop stuff that comes out and it digests. If you eat it in a little capsule, you're just going to shit out that capsule.
A capsule.
the corn capsule.
Corn
It's like
capsules.
you're taking
That's
it
the
like
technical word.
like a supplement.
Yeah.
I think they call them
just,
kernels, not capsules.
I call them capsules.
Could I take corn in a
Because within the corn
suppository way?
capsule, you could, Greg.
What?
Corn, eliminate
It's
the
called a corn
middleman.
cob.
Just stick it
That's
right
your
into
capsule.
my poop.
Get a corn cob, Greg, and then you can insert that where you feel you need to insert
Oh,
it.
we're back to that again about
I've tried
things
the corn
going in your
husk.
body that aren't supposed to go.
Yeah, that messes up all of the systems when you put corn cobs there. Although it may clean you out a little better than toilet paper. Anyway.
Like a toothbrush.
I mean, if I was
For
going
my
to do
ass.
anything,
Well, what
I would
about
not-
like corn tortillas? You're okay with those, right?
Yeah, if you mush it up and do something with it,
Okay.
cornbread, but just these
Corn kernels. It's corn kernels you're against.
Yes, and these
Okay.
monsters that like eat like corn on the cob and like and we're getting ready to head into that. Like I'm gonna eat this corn on a cob. It's
Like
4th of
Frankenstein?
July. Yeah, no,
Dracula.
that's
All
just
the monsters.
they're
You know,
monsters.
I have a weird thing about corn on the cob and like apples, which is the similar things. I have this issue with certain foods getting stuck in my teeth, and I won't eat them for that reason. So corn on the
Yeah.
cob is one of them, and apples are another because of the skin. So I just won't eat them because they'll get
Can't-
stuck in my and pierce my gums or something.
I
I
can't
don't know
say
if
I'm
anybody
a,
else has that issue.
I can't
So
say
I'm
I'm
sure
a
you-
fan of apples either. I didn't really
So what
think of it that way, but maybe that's what it is.
So you would never eat a candy apple. Those are the
No.
worst. That
No,
caramel
yeah,
gets all
no,
stuck.
I wouldn't eat those at all.
No,
Yeah.
I'd beat somebody to death with a candy apple, but I wouldn't eat
They're
it.
actually tasty as hell, but it's not worth the effort. Because then for an hour they're going, fuck.
Yeah, and
That
there's a
shit's
lot of
stuck in my
actually
teeth.
foods like that you get stuck in your teeth, and you're like, why am I eating this? Like, why is that even a part of
Yeah.
a desire of any kind to get that stuff stuck? Yeah, I mean, anything where you got to get it worked out of your teeth, with the exception of, like some good steak, I'm okay with that getting stuck in my mouth, but it's softer than apple skins or the
Yeah, I don't
skins
think
on
I've
corn.
ever had dick caught in my teeth, but maybe.
Not like every time, and it happens infrequently, but sometimes it gets caught in the gaps.
Ribs.
Yeah.
Pork ribs will get stuck in your teeth because they got that sinewy, stringy shit.
Oh, because they eat corn, and the corn is part of it.
And they eat corn, and then it's fuck.
Corn is pig food, as you mentioned before.
Right, so fuck ribs. Never mind.
You guys are making me so hungry now. Let's change the subject.
Well, we're getting near the end anyway, so it's we do you want to which I looked up Bezoar. So Bezoar is spelled Bezoar, everyone, and just to give the actual definition, it's a solid mass of indigestible material that accumulates near your digestive tract, sometimes causing a blockage. So it's material that accumulates in your digestive tract. It's not just something that your body is creating, like it's trying to create some new human.
Maybe it's a certain kind of bezoar, the one that has an eyeball in it and shit.
You're a bezoar.
Can you imagine though being a surgeon and you're like cutting through and all of a sudden this eyeball's looking at you?
They usually form in the stomach, sometimes in the small intestine, or rarely the large intestine. So they're part of the digestive tract, is what they are.
So why do they make teeth and eyeballs?
I think you're making this shit up, dude. I'm calling bullshit now on your Bezoar teeth.
Maybe I
eyeball.
got the name wrong. Maybe I misnamed it. But there is this thing in medical science that it happens. She wasn't shitting me.
She was shitting you.
Because it could be like just a different thing entirely. Because I've heard of something along those lines that can be created that have hair and teeth in them. You know, I don't know that it's necessarily the Bezoar, but it's like some kind of like a tumor or something like that. Here we go. I'm looking up in Google right now. So it's called a teratoma. That's what you're looking for, Greg. It's not a Bezoar.
I mixed it
teratoma.
up. Sorry.
So a teratoma is a type of tumor that can contain fully developed tissues and organs, including hair, teeth, muscle, and bone.
What about a penis? Could it create a whole penis in the teratoma?
Teratomas can grow teeth not through dark magic, but through the normal magic of germ cells. So it's the type of stem cell that turns into an egg or sperm cell, which in turn can produce a fetus. So there is a potential that a penis could be formed within a teratoma. I mean,
that'd be so sad if my teratoma had a bigger penis than I have in between my legs. That would be ironic and sad.
If you had a teratoma, I think it would just be sad that you had a teratoma.
I could. Who knows?
Yeah, you'd have to dig inside there and look for it.
I think they're benign for the most part, unless they get too big. It's not like
so they're benign until they're not benign anymore.
No, I'm saying mine. I could have a benign one where I don't feel discomfort, so I wouldn't go to the doctor. But I could have one.
Actually, your actual head could be a teratoma.
It seems like it sometimes. It makes a lot of useless things.
There's a lot of fur, unkempt fur on it. I see teeth and eyeballs. So I think that maybe your head is a teratoma, Greg.
And there's a vestigial brain in it that doesn't serve any function.
Are we really talking about teratomas, or have we branched off into what are they called? Homunculus?
Homunculus.
Which are little... Which is like
they live in like jars in formaldehyde.
Yes. Yeah, there's the little people that live in the little jars, and the alchemists grew them, and they were little people.
At least he's finally calling them little people. That took a while.
Is that
that's because those are little people, and midgets are fucking midgets, and we've been over this.
Is that what they also call like when you have like a head growing out of your chest, like in freak shows, those weird, or a guy with like a half of a body coming out of his...
All right, so homunculus, just for a definition, is a supposed microscopic but fully formed human being from which a fetus was formerly believed to develop. There's another definition, which is a very small human or humanoid creature.
It's microscopic, though.
Yes, that was in the history of embryology. That's part of the Enlightenment era theory of preformationism. So you're like a little tiny you when you were like prior to being an embryo, and then you grow into the big you later on. You just kind of stretch like a Plastic Man or Elongated Man from the comic books.
Oh, I remember Elongated Man from the comic books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't believe me at being a comic books hero, there is a TV show that's been on the CW in the years past number of years called DC Legends of Tomorrow, and Elongated Man was a regular recurring character on that show.
Really?
Yes.
The ladies liked him a lot.
Because it was the DC Comics version of Plastic Man, which I think Plastic Man was also DC Comics. It's like their version of Mr. Fantastic from Fantastic Four. So,
yeah.
I don't know why
And
they
his
had to
wife
have
was
two
very-
plastic guys in DC Comics, though.
Wasn't Plastic Man kind of a joke? Wasn't he kind of stupid?
Yeah, well, he's just always joking around, and like his early comics in the 40s before DC bought him, they were like zany. They were like superhero, but it was like humor comics.
Right,
He'd
that's
do,
what I
these
thought.
powers.
Yeah, he had sunglasses too, didn't he? Didn't he always
Yeah,
have
and like
sunglasses?
these weird sort of goggly sunglasses, and like he would have been played by Jim Carrey if they ever made a movie about him.
Yeah, good casting.
That would be interesting. Maybe he wore the goggles so you wouldn't see like his eyeballs coming out all the time because maybe he couldn't control the eyeballs and they would just get all weirdly googly.
When I was a kid, all those stretchy characters seemed so lame, compared to Wolverine or the Hulk. And then I realized when I got older and I started having sex, I was like, that's the best superpower in the fucking world. Your dick could totally do anything a woman's vagina wants. You could hit every spot she likes. Every woman's got a different vagina. You could adapt.
You're like overly focused on that, Greg.
Well, when I was younger, I thought about sex a lot. Yeah, that's all I cared about. It was getting late.
As various different superheroes?
No,
Like
but I'm
which
saying
superheroes' powers would work the best for your sexual activity?
yeah, Mr. Fantastic would be a great power. That's why Sue Storm stays with him, the Invisible Woman. He's a
What
big
about
nerd.
what about the Hulk?
It'd be terrible. He would like hurt the poor woman.
I doubt if
She'd
the Hulk
kill
was
her.
having sex with women. He was probably doing it with horses.
You think he's gay?
No, I think he's into
Oh.
bestiality. Horses
Oh.
and elephants or something.
Oh,
He probably, it would be better for the partner. A woman couldn't take that green, massive schlong. The incredible
I think
schlong.
green massive schlong is definitely going into the show notes.
green
t-shirt, Nick.
massive schlong. What about Flash?
He'd be done too quick. The woman would
Well,
never get
that
to
doesn't
come.
mean-
Yeah,
it
but then he
doesn't-
would recuperate faster, though.
Yeah, it doesn't mean he would be done. He would just be moving much faster.
I mean, he could probably hit all of the various different areas of the cavernous
Oh,
area.
that's true. He could run around the girl and just do all crazy things to her.
I don't know if he could run around.
Well, he could basically have sex with her from behind and the front, like really quick. She barely
at the
even
same
noticed.
time.
Yeah, almost at the same time. In her mind, it would seem simultaneous. but-
God, we really need a disclaimer on this episode. Like a serious one at the very beginning.
I'm glad
I
we're
need to
this
warn
is-
off lots of people from this one.
Yeah, this is heading into our big, shindig that
To our
we're sending
anniversary.
out press releases. They're gonna go, well, let's watch the last couple, and they'll get to this one and go, oh my god.
It's like, what will this award show be?
Who
Yeah, we
knows?
should announce once
We
more.
thought Ricky Gervais was controversial. Nah.
Yeah.
I think that it was we were in an interesting state of mind when we chose this as a client, and I did know that there was a possibility of venturing into touchy areas. And
Touchy, I
obviously
like touchy.
we've definitely gotten into a lot of touchy because it's all about where Greg has felt his touchy happen through the course of his life.
I've tried to bring it back to the science. I tried to talk about my own concerns about my numbers of poops. I tried to bring it back to something.
So we went from
You're
the
like
law
Mr. Wizard.
offices of Quibble and Squabble and Bicker to the medical offices, and now we're in the massage parlor of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker. I think that's really
We're in the
what we've done.
the sewer workers of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker.
Sewer walkers. That's a different show.
The Sewer Walkers of Chicago. I watched that on Netflix. It's really good.
It's like every show that ends with Chicago. So they could.
I
do
think
the
they
sewer
ride
walkers.
alligators and they hunt sewer rats in the
Do
sewers
they
of
wear
Chicago.
cowboy hats and go yeehaw as they ride
Yeah.
alligators?
Uh-huh.
They're gator
Yeah.
boys instead of cowboys.
Gator Boys.
Get
We have those down
varmints.
here.
Well, Gator Boys, I think, was one of the gangs in West Side Story.
No.
Really? I don't think so. Doesn't
I
sound
don't
right.
think so.
I think the fact that you guys both took me slightly seriously for that.
Yeah,
Nah.
yeah, it was the,
Like what? Well,
I
where
wanted it to be true because that would be cool, but I knew it wasn't.
Oh no, it was Tom Cruise's name in The Outsiders. Gator Boy.
Oh, yeah. Stay golden, Gator Boy.
Gator boy.
I think maybe that should be the end of our shows from now on, as we say, "Stay golden, Gator Boy." It's
Or at
good
least a
ending.
t-shirt.
Well, I think this is a good time. I want just to remind everybody on June 23rd, we will be doing our anniversary show. And God, do I have it handy? Yes, here is the actual title of the anniversary show. It's the first annual Step Up to the Bar Association Legal Conference and Awards Banquet, where we'll be giving out totally fungible tokens as awards to our guests. So if you don't know what a totally fungible token is, don't worry about it. We made it up. So
It's a TFT. Yeah, I know what that is.
yeah,
Yeah.
TFT.
yeah.
Elon Musk was just tweeting about it. I saw. Hold on.
Yeah.
Elon Musk will not be one of the people arriving on the show, but the awards will be given. If you're interested in attending, we will be on our YouTube channel, so look up the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker on YouTube. Don't forget, everybody, we can find us all over the internet. We're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on UHive, we're on Facebook, and we're, talking to you through whatever format you're listening to us right now. So you know all this stuff. Go to our website, it's www.qsblaw.org. On the anniversary show, we'll also be showing our new intros and outros, and hopefully we'll have some new artwork for the so it might be something different in my background from after the anniversary show, and it'll kick off it'll end our second season, move us into our third season, where we'll have a format change. We'll announce what that format change is going to be on the anniversary show as well. So, thank you all. Brendan, Greg, do you have anything you'd like to add to everything that I just babbled forth and spewed?
I'd like to thank our bodily functions for still working slightly.
Yes. Okay. And I was just using one of them just now as I vomited
Farting?
all of those words.
Did you pee a little bit? Because you were excited about the anniversary show?
Tiny
A little bit? I did too. It's okay.
I wear diapers for that reason. Anyway, thank you, everybody. This has been another episode of the Law Offices Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker. Stay golden, Gator Boy.
You've left the offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker. It's over. It's over. It's time for you to go home. It's over. It's over. Go away now.